Get it trademarked with Trademark Factory.
Hi, I'm Andrei Mincov, the founder of Trademark Factory, the only firm in the world where licensed lawyers and trademark agents will help you trademark your brands with a free comprehensive trademark search for a single all-inclusive flat fee with a 100% money-back guarantee. I am famous for explaining intellectual property issues and trademark issues so that a 9-year-old can understand. And today's question I'm going to answer is, how do trademark examiners examine your trademark applications? When you file your trademark application, first thing that's going to happen with this is nothing. It's just going to sit there for several months. It's about 8 months in Canada, about 4 months in the US. And then it will get assigned to a trademark examiner. It's basically somebody at the trademark's office who's called the trademark examiner. Your application will be assigned to them. They will look at it, and they will look at it through the prism of their level of knowledge of trademark law, and it varies. Some of them are really, really, really good, and some of them unfortunately aren't. They're also going to look at your trademark application through the prism of their level of understanding of your industry. So if you have a common industry like clothing, it's all clear. But if you have something that's very sophisticated, sometimes it's very important who the application is going to get to, because some examiners will understand what makes you different from your competition, and some of them won't. And this is actually very important. I'm going to tell you a story. So we had a client. We filed for 5 trademarks for them. The trademark applications were almost identical. The only difference was the trademarks themselves were different. And it so happened that 3 of these applications ended up on the desk of one trademark examiner, and 2 of them ended on the desk of another. And our client was in the telecommunications services field. And so the first examiner, the one who got the 3, they were very happy with everything. They approved the applications right away, no problems, no questions asked. The second examiner was giving us hell. The trademarks were okay. It was the list of products and services that they weren't happy with. They say it wasn't specific enough. And the phrase that they were particularly annoyed by was transmission of data over the internet. And the examiner goes, well, what kind of data? I'm like, any data. No, that's not specific enough. So we changed that to transmission of images, text, videos, multimedia, and other content over the internet. Several months later, we'll get another office action from the same examiner who says, you know what, it's still not specific enough. What is the text about? What are the videos about? And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, why are you asking us all these questions? It doesn't make any sense. The other examiner who saw exactly the same thing was okay with that. And the trademark examiner said, well, you know what, I don't care what the other examiner said. I don't understand what the text is about, and you need to specify that. So we actually realized that we can't argue with that person, so because it was completely unreasonable requests. So what we did is we wrote a letter to the trademark's office and asked, almost begged, for the 2 applications to be sent to the same examiner who just approved 3 other applications. And we were lucky enough that we had more than one, and so they agreed, and those applications were approved, and the client's trademarks are now registered. But this only shows how important it is for the trademark examiner to understand what the industry is. Because if the examiner has no idea what transmission of data over the internet is, they may also not know anything about your product and service. So it is very subjective. And the other thing, so I said there are 3 things that the trademark examiner brings with them to the examination process. So it's knowledge of law, knowledge of your industry, and the third one is just basically their personality. Some of them are really nice and they're trying to be really helpful. They're going to help you every step of the way. They're going to suggest things how to make this work. And some of them are just being stubborn jerks, for lack of a better term. And sometimes we just get into those unreasonable arguments that doesn't make any sense, we can spend hours and hours and hours of time trying to convince them and show them common sense approach, and it still doesn't work. So there is a lot of subjectivity to it. That's why there's really never 100% certainty whether or not your trademark is going to go through. We're still going to, if we think that the likelihood of those objections is relatively low, we're still going to offer you a 100% money back guarantee, but it doesn't mean that we're 100% certain that the trademark examiner on the other side is going to approve that. So that's kind of the first part of the answer. The second part of the answer is, so they'll look at your trademark application. So these are the two things that they're going to look at. First of all, they're going to look at whether your trademark application meets their requirements, like the formal requirements. Does the application have all the proper fields filled out? Is the trademark not descriptive? Is the list of products and services specific enough? All of those things that pertain just to your trademark in vacuum, right? As if there were no other trademarks there at all. That's the first part, the formalities. The second part of what they're going to look at is whether or not your trademark is confusingly similar with any other previously filed or registered trademarks. And again, there's a lot of subjectivity that goes in there, because when they are comparing your trademark with somebody else's trademark, they need to understand what the industry is like. They need to understand whether somebody who is a gamer, for example, let's say we have a brand name for a software gaming company, and let's say that name is confusingly similar with another name of a company that makes software that's only used in the healthcare industry. How likely is it somebody who's just a gamer that they would know and confuse this brand for the brand of the healthcare company's brand? That depends on how well the trademark examiner understands both industries. So there's a lot of subjectivity on both sides of it. So to wrap this up, they look at two things. Are formalities in order? And are there any other trademarks previously filed or registered that would not allow them to approve your mark? If the road is clear, they will approve it. And that's really what our job is to communicate with them, to, the first step of our job is to attempt to draft your application so that they say, yes, it's a perfect application, we're happy, we approve it right away. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen very often, not because we don't know what we're doing. We've filed hundreds and hundreds of trademarks. I have people who work for me who filed thousands and thousands of trademarks. So we do know what we're doing, it's just that the level of subjectivity. So the first thing we do is we try to file a trademark so that it goes through and gets approved right away. And if it doesn't, then our job is to keep at it and argue with them and fix the application and tweak the application, do all of those things to make sure that the brand that you entrusted us with gets registered and that you have something that you could hang on your wall in a frame and say, this brand is mine. This is one of many short videos where I'm providing specific, no BS answers to your questions about trademarks. So subscribe now and get notified whenever the next video goes live. And if you have a brand that you want to protect, order your free comprehensive trademark search with registrability opinion by filling out the form at freetmsearch.com. freetmsearch.com. I'll see you in the next video.